Greetings, Atlanta, America. Greetings, Atlanta, America, worldwide internet. Thank you for tuning in to WWWE 1100 AM. You're on Shop Talking Random Issue with King and Sane and the lovely Starlight. I am Will Sane. Rick King is running around somewhere. He'll be here shortly.
Things getting some more barbicide, and one of the clippers messed up or something.
Oil up,
some stuff.
Trying to oil up his clippers. Miss Lady, what's your name?
I'm the lovely Starlight.
He's
happy to be here. The gummy bears have returned.
Okay, so he's making up for his lateness by dropping off gummy bears.
He brought in food. So, sir, how was your weekend? How was your week?
Mine was good. Mine was good. The only hiccup I had was getting here. When I got here, I'm on the way here. I'm over by Ponce City Market, and there's this homeless dude who I think is homeless. He's in the middle of the road and he's asking for change. Okay. So I'm trying not to make that eye contact because
forward, like, don't look.
Because you try not to make that eye contact. So I'm looking at my phone and risking getting a fine from the cop. Yeah. So I'm looking at my phone.
It hasn't started yet.
It hasn't started.
Nope.
You know what? A lot of us are gonna get fines because of bums. I'm just saying because we don't want to make that eye contact. I'm gonna let the cop know that I was not doing anything on my phone.
Like he was panhandling. I was trying to help him get caught. I wasn't trying to get caught myself.
I just didn't want him to make eye contact with the dude. But the guy comes to the car and I'm like, I don't have any change. So then he looks again and I feel kind of bad because I'm okay in life. So I give him $5. The guy gives me the fist bump and then he looks and says, "Hey man, I'm thirsty. You got something to drink?" Now I got my.
Gave you $5.
I know.
Your own drink.
I know. I got my smoothie cup. Now he wants my smoothie. You're not happy with $5?
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, considering most people usually drop out change.
Exactly. I should have given him some ones. So hey, Atlanta, you gotta do something about this homeless situation. Let's get some homes for these people, man. How was your week, man?
It was good. I didn't really do too much. I once again was helping out my god brother with my niece, and so I got a chance to take her to the pool and everything. And this child's like half mermaid, so we got there. She was like immediately in the water, so I got a chance to get a little suntanning on, and so yeah.
Oh, you getting ready for the summer?
Yes, and got the braids done earlier this week, so yeah.
You swinging them?
Yes.
Looking like Miss Jackson in Poetic Justice.
I had to get my Poetic Justice on, I'm still looking for my Lucky if he out there. Still looking.
Lucky got shot in the first. No, okay, no, I'm sorry. That was Q-Tip. That was Q-Tip.
My Lucky made it.
Q-Tip who
in real life Lucky got shot.
My Lucky made it through the movie. Don't you do that to me.
Hey.
So Mr. King, how was your week?
It was a little hot. I got a little moist. And now I'm here.
Just to let you know, our show is sponsored by the word pineapple.
Now I'm here talking some issues with the people I love. I got my man Don from DNA Sports, and we're gonna get more into why Don is in the building.
Hello.
And from DNA Sports Talk, man, he started some about 2 weeks ago that we're gonna touch on here in a minute, and that's what we're here. Let's get it. The barbershop is open.
So with that being said, we'll go ahead and touch on a few of the items that happened this week in news, sports, and entertainment.
Alrighty, we're going to do a quick replay of the week in news review. So if you don't know, congratulations to Miss Elise Mary Johnson. She was the lady who had been serving nearly 21 years in prison for a nonviolent drug offense. She was pardoned by Mr. President Trump, who, after meeting with Kim Kardashian last week in the Oval Office.
Kim who?
Kim Kardashian West, my bad.
I'm sorry.
The up-and-coming senator to be one day.
Oh, my God.
So thanks to Miss Kardashian West, this lady is now free on the streets, man.
Okay.
Yeah. So think about this. I thought about this when I read this article. If it wasn't for Ray J's sex tape, that woman would still be in jail.
So we gonna thank Ray J.
So thank Ray J. Ray J is someone saying.
All right, Ray J.
Ray J is someone saying, no, you need to thank me, man.
Okay.
You need to thank me.
Okay. All right, Ray J.
But I know you kind of throwing around the term senator, but she is in the state
Oh,
that
yeah.
was the state that had, what was it, Mary Carey?
Oh, yeah.
She was
I guess
in.
at 45.
She
he
was
good
in
right
there.
Hey,
She was in there, and hey, that's how people knew
Oh,
her.
okay.
The
So why
governor-
not?
Can we?
Governor was Arnold
You
Schwarzenegger.
know, you had a governor who was. So why not? If you come out of
Okay.
California, you can do
Yep.
some stuff.
You're right.
Okay.
Clint Eastwood was a mayor.
You know.
Ronald Reagan
You
became
can do
president.
some stuff.
Yeah,
You can do
you
some
can
stuff
it.
from that state.
California, man.
So, any other news stories?
Oh yeah,
that
one
stuck
more
out to
thing.
you?
This is something kind of crazy I saw. So in South Dakota, in Bonham, South Dakota, there was an election held on Tuesday. The primary election held for sheriff. Well, there were two candidates. One was Mr. Mark Maggs. He was the deputy.
Mm-hmm.
And the other one was his boss, Mr. Lenny Grimcow. Well, Mr. Maggs, the deputy, beat his boss
Okay.
in the election 871 to 331.
Okay.
Shortly after, Mr. Maggs received a letter from his boss that says, "You're fired."
You're fired. Yes.
But-
He had to fire.
So,
I
he's
mean, but
fired.
he's still the elected sheriff. So
But he will
gets
not
it.
be able to take office until January. So this man is unemployed.
No,
Until
he
January.
he is on a separate.
He had to fire.
Yeah, I mean,
I can't
But you're
let
fired.
not yeah. If you're
I-
running and your underling beats you,
I had to fire.
you gotta go.
I think how can I take
You gotta
orders
go.
for?
You gotta
Because
go.
you
You
know,
gotta go.
you know
You
what
gotta
he
go.
gonna, you know he gonna be trying to slide in some orders.
You're right.
Yeah,
You're
You gotta
right.
I can't take
You
that.
gotta
I can't have this
Let
man
Let him get his
questioning
6
me.
months severance pay. Let him chill.
You're
right.
Figure out what he wants to do as
He got-
sheriff,
he
and
finna
he
go
can
on some
come in.
stress.
Yeah, he
Okay.
can come in at
He need to go on the
January.
cruise.
Well, you know, when they asked the sheriff won't respond to that.
Oh
That's the reason
no,
why.
he ain't gonna take it. No.
Hey,
Hey.
no, it is what it is.
And last but not least, on June 12th next week, President Trump is meeting with the leader of North Korea, Kim Jong-un, to discuss a possible peace treaty.
Two damn fools talk.
Well, you know what I will say was that a lot of us in the military are hoping that what we thought was going to happen with this whole nuclear war thing is going to subside, and we don't have to go to North Korea.
Did Dennis
Yeah, we don't
Rodman
need-
have something? They sent Dennis Rodman.
You know, well,
He went over there.
I actually
Over-
sent Dennis. Dennis did his own thing.
No. But recently, didn't Dennis just do
Did he go
something?
back?
Didn't Dennis just do something here recently
I hope,
with
he
all?
didn't go, I hope he didn't go back.
Okay, I'm just
I
wondering.
mean, but
if he
they
went
like him over there, so he might have helped.
If
He
he
Well,
might
damn
have.
over here, so
I mean, you know.
If he went back, Trump would be hot, man.
You know.
So that's all I have for the weekend news. Mr. Rick, what's up with sports?
Okay. Really Kool-Aid though. From all the.
Dumb. Did Asa this year pick the Capitals?
No, he did not.
What? So this is the year that he didn't pick the Capitals?
He didn't pick them this year.
Oh, he been riding with the Capitals for so long.
Every
First of all, yeah, man, he been right. Hey, the Capitals have been a contender for the last 5 years? I know 5.
They would be at least
I would
close.
probably 7. Ovechkin's been there at least 10 years, so I give him 3 years in the league, and then after that, so at least 7 years.
At least 7 years. So I know Asa been riding them and trying to get. Hey, I want to say congratulations to the Washington Capitals.
Good job.
Finally, Lord have mercy.
So you figured out that Asa was what was holding you back. Asa the bar
So
was holding you back.
he got off the bandwagon, and they
they
finally
won.
won
They
that
won.
thing. Hey, man.
But then also that the new team coming out of Nevada though, the babies.
They didn't win.
No, I'm just saying the
I
fact
don't care
that
nothing about that.
no,
They didn't win.
I'm talking about for the fact of these smaller or
They're not
these
small.
cities.
They're not small. Las
These
Vegas is not
cities
small.
that would like to have teams, it is possible to get a team and then have your team actually do something.
This
Granted,
is
they
Vegas.
came up very short, but I'm just saying it was
Small
nice to
size,
see a
big
new
money.
team get somewhere.
I don't care nothing about them. I don't care nothing about them. They didn't win.
Whatever.
The second place is the first loser.
Hey.
If you're first and last.
Yeah. If you ain't first, you're last. Ricky Bobby.
Yeah,
Shake it back. Shake it back.
Stop.
What
Hey,
is this guy, my man?
The second, bro, and them going home tonight, or they gonna take that flight over to Golden State to lose, or are they going home tonight?
I think they're going home tonight. I
would
think-
like them
I
to
think
go
they're going home
home
tonight.
I'm done.
Well, tonight is game 4.
Yeah.
It should
What
be,
is it for
it should
them-
be on the way.
What are we
Should
watching?
be.
$3 cafe right up the street. Boy.
Okay, let's
The
go.
quickest and fastest place. And soon as
Yeah,
done,
so
clean the
we-
bathroom.
So we gonna catch
Yeah, let's
halftime.
go. Let's do it.
Catch
We are
halftime.
let's do it.
Good job.
And that third story we gotta hit is Donald Trump wanted to meet with the players at the deal. Hey, we will get back to that soon after the break. We gonna talk about that. We gonna get more in depth on that thing. Miss Starlight, what you got for entertainment?
All right, so this week in entertainment, yesterday would have been the 60th birthday of the great Purple One himself.
Oh man.
And-
Purple rain, rain, purple rain.
Who sang that song? Who sang that
If y'all turn on the top, I'm going to raise your hand.
I need to see the lyrics on that damn song.
If y'all turn on the top, I'm going to raise your hand.
Y'all
Sing it
are
for years, but I
not
need to
going
see
to
the
be
lyrics.
disrespecting
If y'all understand what I'm talking about, come on, raise your hand.
But with that said, though, and the fact that we do have, that person playing tonight who everybody swears up and down is better than the MJ of basketball. I read an article that was written about an MJ in music versus Prince, and it brought out something. It made me think.
Yeah.
So Stevie Wonder a couple years ago, it was right after Prince had passed. Somebody was talking about, just all the people in music that have been important, and so they were talking, and he made the statement that if Michael Jackson was the king of pop, Prince should be listed as the emperor. And it made me think, because, just going back, looking at their full anthology and everything, and it was just like, okay, Mike was good, but Prince touched a little bit more and had his hands in a little bit more
He
stuff.
actually played the instrument.
did some
that was
stuff
the beat.
then.
That was that great battle between Prince and Mike.
You're right.
gotta
You
be
grew up
his
around
own-
that time.
Yeah,
You knew that.
Yeah.
It was
You couldn't like Prince
Yeah.
and like Mike.
I
It was
like
beef.
slightly
both. Hey,
did. Like
I
Biggie and Pac, I like both.
Hey, I like
Yeah,
both.
I
did.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It was
I'm
like
sorry.
that. Yeah.
What-
No.
what-
I mean, Don, going out and live. Which one do you like? My MJ or Prince?
The only reason why I'm gonna say Prince is because I saw him in concert. I never got a chance to see Mike in concert.
Hey, and I was
So
supposed to go
the fact
see
that
Prince
I
Yes.
last
Yes.
time he was here.
Yo.
Oh, this last
I said the same thing.
Yeah.
I was like,
It's,
yeah.
I mean, it's 1 and 1A, but I gotta
It
give
is,
Prince
it
a nod,
is, it is.
only because I saw him live. And
Yeah.
to your point about musical instruments, I mean, he made up a song with a guitar just sitting on stage, much like the great Eric Roberson does. Give me
Yeah.
a few words
Yeah.
and just make up a song. So to see
Exactly.
Prince do
That's a
that
damn
and know that he
genius.
can
That's a
play
genius.
anything,
Well,
yeah.
well, you know,
That's the
Prince will go home tonight and come out tomorrow night with a whole album.
Yeah.
I mean, everything completed, every instrument played, mixed and mastered.
Okay.
I mean, but it
Emperor
was
status.
something about that MJ, and I heard
And
stories
that's
about MJ that MJ directed. I think We Are the World
Yeah.
from the telephone.
Mhm.
You know,
He heard somebody singing on the telephone and he picked out the person, the voice, and said, "Hey, you off
Yeah.
key." So
No, I mean,
this is gonna have to
it
be a
was
whole
very-
show.
yeah.
That's
we
what
can
I'm
do a
saying.
whole
That's
show.
what I'm
Yeah, a whole
saying.
show.
Reading this
Yeah,
article,
we'll
I
come
was
back.
like,
MJ
I'd rather this argument to keep hearing than the other one.
It's gonna have to be a
I'm
whole
done
show.
with the other
I'm
one.
The whole show is
I'm
gonna have to
done.
be. We're gonna have to do a whole show of MJ or Prince, Biggie or Tupac,
Yeah.
Jay-Z or Nas, all in
I
one
would
show.
say
All in
pick
one
a
show.
side, and then you gotta pick a song and battle.
Yes,
Ugh.
yes. Because I'm telling
I'm with
you,
it.
now the thing,
I'm
is,
with
the
it.
one thing
I'm gonna
is,
play referee
when
on
you
that
look at,
one.
it's
No,
like
no,
you see
man.
Michael Jackson just makes people cry, fall out, pass out from his presence.
Yeah.
That's the one thing I never saw Prince do, and that's the only thing that kind of.
Hey, but
Ta-da.
hey, it's a lot of babies made off Prince.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
A lot of
That's true.
babies.
Yeah.
that's true.
And R. Kelly, but they ain't saying that.
A lot of hunching was
Well,
done.
My bad. Too
See,
soon.
we don't do
Too
All right,
What else you got, Miss
so
Lady?
I mean, another story. It kind of was like it's building or built off of last week's issue with the whole Pusha T and Drake thing, this, that, whatever. But apparently, Jay Prince was upset because he was receiving death threats. Like, was it really that serious? Him telling Drake to just chill out? Was it really that serious, people?
Well, Drake didn't. Well, Jay Prince wasn't telling Drake to chill out because Jay Prince was receiving death threats. He was telling Drake to chill out.
No, he
because
received the death threats after he said, just
Oh,
chill
yeah,
out. And
yeah.
that's why I was like, it wasn't
People don't
that
wanna mess
serious
with
for
Jay
him
Prince,
just to
man.
say,
Hey, man, Jay
calm
People don't wanna-
down.
People don't want to
let
mess with
me
Jay
tell you
Prince.
my problem
though,
with
man.
that, though. Let me tell you
Yeah.
my only problem with Jay Prince calling this off. That's like your mama
Hold on.
coming down.
You about to get in a
don't-
fight and
No,
you be like,
no. You don't started this fight.
No,
You
Drake
get
didn't
beat
start-
up. No,
Drake didn't start the fight.
Drake been jamming. Drake been throwing jabs. Throwing
And
jabs.
Pusha T?
Yes.
No.
Yes. For years. Yes.
Okay.
You gotta go back. Go back.
I gotta go back on
He
this.
been Jake
He
been throwing
wasn't. He
jabs.
never
I gotta
called him
listen.
out.
I gotta
No,
listen.
He didn't
you
call
know
him
Drake.
out like
He been
Pusha called him out.
subliminally. He been subliminally throwing cute
Yeah.
little jabs and Pusha.
I gotta hear
No,
it.
Pusha started it.
I gotta-
Pusha told him a
Yeah,
long
yeah,
time
Pusha
ago.
started
it.
Pusha told him a long time ago that they was under some ish.
Yeah.
But Drake been throwing jabs.
Mhm.
Then he came out with Duffy, Puffy, Duffy, whatever they call it.
Yeah.
It was hot. It was hot.
Yeah.
My only question was, did he write it? But that's neither here nor there.
Come
That's
on.
neither here nor there.
Come
And
on.
then Adonis came out. Yeah. He got tore out the frame, in my opinion.
Okay.
This is a conversation for another day.
Okay.
And but see, my problem is, you in a fight, you
Uh-huh.
get beat up, and then your mama come down here and say, y'all gotta stop. You can't be hitting my baby. You better than
Well,
my baby.
he didn't tell Pusha T to stop. He told Drake.
He
to
told
stop.
Drake to stop.
He didn't tell Pusha. He told Drake.
This is
So
hip hop.
Pusha can keep going if he wants.
This is hip hop.
Pusha can keep going if he wants.
This is
You
hip
know,
hop.
you keep going.
Ain't no
I
question.
agree.
It's a rap.
Yeah.
I agree. It's a rap.
But I'm gonna tell you
It
personally
is
what I
fun.
think it was. I did like Pusha's response, but it's sort of like with Pac and Hit 'Em Up and Biggie. Like Biggie said, people told him, "Hey man, you don't need to respond." And there's other people saying, "Man, you need to respond." What Biggie did, he didn't respond.
Biggie needed to respond. But
No.
Biggie needed to respond.
You cannot respond to Hit 'Em Up. The best response Biggie did was Biggie dissed him on himself. Biggie dissed himself by getting back at Tupac, saying if Faye had twins, she'd probably have two Pacs.
Yeah,
Get it?
I mean, but
Two
Pops.
Pacs.
Because
He
the
dissed him
whole.
himself.
Well, I mean, that was called
That was-
part of the room when he was addressing it slightly.
Because he knew you could not survive after Hit 'Em Up was just one of those songs that like you can't come back after Hit 'Em Up. You could not, it's nothing he could have
This is
said.
hip hop, dog.
No one could. The great Rakim couldn't have came back after
It
Hit 'Em
wasn't
Up.
even an ether or nothing. It
Yeah.
was,
Anything,
I get it.
Nothing could have came back at.
I get what
Hit
you're
'Em
saying.
Up.
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying, but it's hip hop. What's the last story, baby girl?
All right, so this one is it hit kind of hard. It hit close to home, and it's touched on a couple of topics that we've been sort of getting into recently. We had the death of Kate Spade, and the fact that this happened in her house while her husband was there, and he didn't know that she was at that point. And then to wake up this morning to Anthony Bourdain. And even though people knew he was kind of a hard, man or whatever to deal with this, it's still the fact that it's like you have so many people looking up to these quote-unquote celebrities thinking, oh my God, they made it, but then only to be brought back down and realize, oh, they are human because they go through everything the same way regular humans do.
Yes, sir.
All I got to say is make sure you reach out to your people. If you know somebody that's usually been going through stuff, check on them. If you know somebody that they seem to be on the great path and they flying high and then for some reason they just fall, check on them. And then you got your strong people who are always the ones that are being checked on. Check on us. Those of us that we're just so used to filling into each other, we got to be filled up too. So it's just, all I'm saying is, before we go to break, when you get people in your life that you care about, check on them.
Hey, folks,
Ross
depression is real, folks. It's
Royce
real.
5'9" it did a song on his latest CD called The Book of Ryan that says it's called Strong Friend. He says check up on your strong friend. Everybody is looking for this person to build you up, but who's checking on this friend that's supposed to be strong?
Just what we talked about
Check
last
them
week, man.
Check them on.
Mhm.
Check them on.
Just
Yes,
what last week.
Yes, sir. This mental health issue ain't
All
going
right,
away.
so
silence the shame.
we're
Yes,
going to
sir.
take a quick break. And once again, remember, when we come back from break, if you want to come into the shop, it's 404-603-8770. Or if you're stuck in your mama basement, it's a free call. It's 888-926-7562. We'll be back.
It should play right into it.
Yeah, I know.
this damn.
This one's
phone,
deep.
bro.
Shit.
No, it's one dude that's listening, and the other dude that's listening. But the dude called me from the other line, which is taking up all our lines.
Tell me how to clear it. Okay, so what's gonna happen is when we come back in.
Clear that mouth.
No, don't play the Malcolm until I tell you. I'm gonna say, and this is what Malcolm Jenkins had to say. I cue you when I pointed. When we come back in, start playing the what's going on?
Bed, yeah.
Bed.
Okay.
And then when you play the Malcolm, then once you play the Malcolm, turn it up so you can hear the Malcolm.
Yeah.
And then turn it back down when the
Go
bed.
to bed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Man, I used to sing that shit, bro. That's off Above the Rim, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Above
The
the
best
Rim.
song off of Above the
Yeah.
Rim.
No.
That's the best song on the
What's
Rim.
no, hold on. Yeah,
The best song on Above the Rim, though.
no.
It was fine.
No, that was
But
fine.
this was the best song on
You
Above the
crazy.
Rim. This was the best
No,
song
no,
on
what's
Above
the
the
other
Rim.
one?
I bumped your head.
Yeah.
Hey,
number
I
on
might
there.
have, but this is the absolute best song on
Never
Above the
take
Rim.
me
And plus, this was on the tape. This wasn't even on the CD.
I know.
Yeah.
I don't care. Have my baby in it. It's automatic. Well, in his defense, he made 23.
He did.
Years and years of that rough life.
Hold on, man. I don't know. Hold on. God dang, let me look at
Let
this.
me know when we ready.
Y'all all three of you.
Yeah. What about a fine
Ass cock.
I
This the best song on this
It's
joint.
one.
Rider too, though, man. Them ain't seen in a while, damn near come on my night. 9, 10, 11, 12, 15. Why? Because I'm all in.
That whole album. I picked this some bone. That bone the hell out.
Share it out. Your page or the group page?
did it for
Yeah.
And I'm feeling all right.
No, I'm saying go to the live feed and then share it out to everybody that's I used to do it about the same time.
Tree, I was at the park one day. That's when I saw her face. She looked at her caddy and me. But when I take her home and tap that ass, I'm gone. I'm just a dog, don't blame me.
Huh?
Buddy
wanna come on.
Wow.
Your homeboy, yeah, Eric.
Eric?
Eric, yeah.
Not
Well,
yet.
you know, I mean, once we get in, we'll
Not yet. When we get into our show.
Y'all ready?
Yeah.
Dee-dee-da-dee-da. No. This conversation needs to be had.
Hold on. No, hold on. What's got to finish?
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Gonna pop.
I'm sorry.
Oh, what is that gonna pop?
I'm sorry.
It's gonna pop.
I'm gonna get myself some drink. Cross my line as I flip inside as I.
You gotta be put that shit on. Hey, you gotta be put that shit on your own, man.
How you gonna say this wasn't the best song?
Pain.
You done bumped your
Listen to
head.
Pain. Pain is though, man. Listen to Pain. Pain is though, man. A lot of little liquor though.
Hey, you got 30 seconds.
30 seconds.
Okay.
I like it.
Now Pain was it when you feel.
Yeah.
I did my pen in the Cone, Michigan night.
I know that damn poem, boy.
I like
You can't do that poem.
The ending part always gave me like chills.
Oh, yeah.
Man, the ending.
It should.
Oh, he said he ain't getting chills. On that
How much time?
On that
I
song?
got like 10 seconds.
10 seconds.
You know about that song?
Yeah.
You know about that song? How old are you?
Enough.
How old?
Enough.
Nah, what you about 21?
She's number one in my stable.
Welcome back to the Barbershop Talking Random-ish with your boy Rick Kane
We'll sing.
and the
the
beautiful.
lovely Starlight.
Hey y'all, I guess you noticed we got a guest in the building. I got my man. Who are you?
This is Don the DNA Sports Talk, live right here, same station, just Monday nights. That's all, 7 to 9 Eastern Standard Time.
Please tune in and listen to my man.
I asked Don to come in and sit in here with us because we about to touch something. something that needed to be touched. And I brought it up last week. I mentioned it last week that we were gonna have this conversation. I wanted to wait till my homeboy Will Sane got back in the building. And it's the conversation about this whole NFL. The NFL new ruling on how they're gonna handle the national anthem. And Don on his show DNA Sport Talk, him and Asa, they started this conversation amongst us up here. And Don, can you briefly describe the conversation that y'all had real quick, and so we can get the people caught up, and then we're gonna go into what we're gonna hit.
Okay. So initially, what happened once the decision came down by the league, basically Roger Goodell, and him telling the players, it had been talked about what they were going to do as far as the national anthem is concerned. Were there going to be any penalties? Were there going to be any fines? And this actually happened here in Atlanta, that the meeting took place. And once the meeting was over, they came out with a decision saying that if you want to protest the national anthem as a player, then you need to stay in the locker room. If you come out on the field, then you have to stand for the national anthem. If you choose to do any type of protest during the national anthem while on the field, then there will be a fine as well as a 15-yard penalty to start the game. So now you're affecting your team more so than, it being an individual or a group protest. And all of this basically was about to be a dead issue until Trump brought it up and made a big to-do about players not respecting the flag and standing. So I honestly believe that this would have gone away, because toward the end of the football season, it was more about field of play. There were no more cameras on the individual players. It was no more, well, who's standing, who's not. It was becoming a dead issue. So to arouse divisiveness again, Trump puts it into the forefront, and thus the decision was made. And at that point, I felt that we as media, and particularly sports, had to come together and discuss this and have a round panel discussion.
Yes, sir.
So that's why it was Real Talk Sports with Jonathan Simmons, The Crush Sports with Glaze and Maceo, Chick Sports here, Yukari, trying to get everybody's Horse Roundtable. Yeah. I wanted to pull everyone that discusses sports. It didn't, at this point,
I was trying my best to get it.
Right. We all have to come together and discuss this. This can't be a topic, and don't get me wrong, we all discuss it on our different programs and platforms, but we all needed to get together to form one voice and discuss this as a unit. And I'm so glad it was last minute. It was a Thursday night.
Yes, sir.
Tried to pull it off Sunday at 2 o'clock on a holiday weekend, but everybody either called, Terrell from Hip Hop 1987, shout out to him as well, called in or came in the studio to discuss this.
It was a great conversation.
It's a needed conversation.
It's a much needed conversation. Now,
because we have to change the narrative.
Have to.
Yeah.
Now, go ahead.
Now, that's why I wanted to continue this conversation, and I wanted Don to be here, of DNA Sport Talk, to be here, and anybody that wanted to be a part of this conversation. Now, I'm gonna break out. Before I start the conversation, I want to play this clip right quick of the Malcolm Jenkins interview that went on Thursday. Could you play the clip for me? The biggest thing, you didn't hear Malcolm Jenkins say anything. If you watch that interview, the biggest thing he said, you were not listening.
Mm-hmm.
He held up a poster.
He held up a poster that said, you are not listening. I posed the question tonight, why are we kneeling? Do anybody remember why we kneeling?
Yeah, now, going off that, the players were kneeling. The reason the players were kneeling, and of course, I think everyone knows why they were kneeling. I think why the players were kneeling, because they feel that there's injustice amongst towards blacks out here with police brutality. I think everyone knows the reason. However, everyone does not agree with how they're protesting.
Okay, now
And that's where I think everything
That's still not
got
why
construed.
we're kneeling.
That is
No,
that is why they're doing it.
initially
That is
when
why they're
Colin Kaepernick started
No, no, no,
kneeling,
no,
that is
That
why
is
he
why.
started
No.
kneeling. My question is,
No, that's what I'm saying though. You answered why it's protested. The question of when people saying, "Oh, well, why are they kneeling?" is because I forgot the veteran's name, but when he spoke with Colin Kaepernick, who was
Yeah.
sitting down,
Yeah.
and he told him, out of respect, when we do things out of respect, we kneel. So then he started to kneel out of respect for the veterans because he wanted them to make sure it has nothing, like when people kept trying to always be disrespect, it has nothing to do with disrespect. It was still about the protest over police brutality and the large amount of black and brown men being affected versus the rest of the country. So I think, I think that's also why, what was it, when it came out from CNN or it was either CNN or MSNBC, when they were saying, "Oh, it just came out that this is why." It didn't just came out. This man told them this back when he gave the letter to Colin, when he had the conversation with Colin. He was actually supposed to be on a couple of interviews with MSNBC, Fox News, but then they canceled it because they didn't want to hear his narrative at that point. They wanted to make it their story. And so for them to turn around now and say, "Oh, this news just came out." No, it didn't.
we are going to take calls on this, but give us a minute. We're trying to get some points out right quick, and the number that you can call in is going to be 404-603-8770. And once again, if you're in your mama basement, the number is 1-888-926-7562. Now, I know that, you know that, but my question is today, after President 45 got a hold to this, after the media and everybody else got a hold to this, why are we kneeling? And my question is, when the reason why I ask this question is because in the statement that Roger Goodell's made, he said nothing about the original of why we were kneeling.
That's not his place.
His place, no,
it's
his
not
place
his
is
place.
to defer it. His place is to divert further.
Everybody's place is to make money.
No, I get it. His place
His place
is
is
to
not
make
Which is why he also said the decision was unanimous, and it wasn't.
money.
He made this decision.
Well,
even the
if I'm the
owners
only
weren't ready to
if I'm
make
the
the
only person
decision.
making the decision, it's pretty much unanimous.
But no,
Well,
that's the
no,
point.
no,
You
no,
can't
he
bring
said
in
the
owners.
owners.
You
He
can't
said
bring
the
in
owners.
everybody.
He
And
said
he
the
was like, "Oh, the
owners.
owners decided." They was like, "No, we didn't. You made that decision.
Okay.
We
Jan-
never
your-
agreed to
your-
this."
Of San Francisco 49ers came out and said he did not.
Yeah.
And,
There were about five
and
other-
the owner
there were about
for,
5 other
the
owners.
Jets
Okay.
also said
Yes.
that he would go. He want his players to come out and do what they need to
And
do.
he'll pay the fine.
Exactly.
That's the difference. That was the CEO
Okay.
of the Jets, not the owner.
Okay,
Yeah.
CEO, excuse me.
Yes,
It's-
yes.
it's-
So,
Could've made
So,
me
so,
as an
so,
idea.
so my question is, they had successfully taken this message away from its original statement of we are protesting because of the injustices, because of the brown and blacks that are going on into this country, and officially made it about disrespecting the flag. A flag that I mind you, the national anthem that I mind you, that was never written for us.
okay, let's
In the first place.
not go to that part because there's
But-
much debate about that whole. There's a lot of debate about that phrase
What's the debate?
because there's debate about was that when he said about the slaves, was he talking about the slaves who turned and fought against them, or was he talking about the slaves who were still
Right.
fighting
But-
with
Right.
them?
Ain't
Okay.
Now that's one thing, but let's go back to the whole while we're kneeling thing.
Yeah.
All right. So, first of all, let's actually state something.
Mhm.
It's not Roger Goodell's place to change the justice system or judicial system. It's not the place of the NFL as a whole to change the judicial system. It's
You're
not
right.
their place.
You're right.
Their place is to entertain. Now, I state that. I also state that with this policy, there's 2 parts of this to me. 3 parts, actually, as a black man, because I'm also in the military. So the first part as a black man, yeah, you say, I'm kind of upset that they're telling the players that they can't kneel. Then there's the military portion of me, part of me that says, but that's what I fight for. I fight for those people, those players, to have the right to kneel. So that's the military part of me. But then there's the businessman in me that says, No, that's not what you're paid for. You're not paid to try to change justice, change the judicial system. So, when they push you and say, when they give you this out, you take the out and you still get your protest. The out is what? The out is just don't show up. Just don't come out to the field until after the flag is done.
So
your presence will still be noticed.
So
How will you not?
No. So
how
now
would, you're telling me they would not say if Matt Ryan did not show up on the field for the flag?
He could be getting taped up.
They know. No. Okay, let me ask you a question.
But
Thank
can
you.
I change
Thank
the
you.
narrative?
No. Let me ask you that question. No, because he just brought that up.